What's real and what's good, everyone? Your boy Red and Gold Empire here, coming at you with another 49ers video. This one's going to be a longer one. Um, a couple things to go over. I meant to post, last week after the Jets game. But my daughter was sick and I had to, stay home and take care of her. So I didn't have, as much time as I thought I would to record a video. So this is why in this video we're going to be analyzing my week one predictions that I made against the Jets. And then we're going to move on to talk a little bit about the Vikings game, which again I meant to talk about last week, but was unable to due to lack of time. So we're going to discuss the week one predictions, see how those went. We're going to look at the general week two performance in the loss against the Minnesota Vikings. And then finally, we're going to go over some week three game predictions for facing the Rams. With all that out of the way, let's go to the week one rage predictions that I had made for the Jets game. My first prediction was that Brock Purdy was going to throw for at least 2 touchdowns. He threw 0. So that was not correct. Prediction number 2 was that George Kittle will have 1 touchdown and at least 110 yards. George Kittle had 0 touchdowns since Brock Purdy didn't throw any. And Kittle also only had 40 yards. So that was an incorrect prediction. Prediction number 3, I'm going to give myself half credit. I got this one half right. I said that Deommodore Lenoir would intercept Aaron Rodgers. Lenoir didn't intercept Rodgers himself, but Deommodore Lenoir did tip a pass that was then intercepted by, I believe it was Demetrius Flanagan-Foles. I don't know if it's Fowles or Foles. I've heard it said both ways. But it was DFF who caught the interception rather, but Lenoir, excuse me, Lenoir made it possible due to tipping Rodgers' pass. So I was half right on Demo picking off Rodgers. Prediction number 4. I was actually right on this one. I predicted that Jake Moody would make 100% of his kicks, and he did. He was 6 for 6 on all his kicks. Hey, that rhymed. 6 for 6. He almost missed. I think it was a field goal that he almost missed, but he doinked it in. He hit the upright, but then it still went in and counted as a score. So that was great. So I was right. Jake Moody starting off the season right, making all his kicks. My fifth and final prediction for the week one game versus the New York Football Jets was that the final score would be 49ers winning 31 points to the Jets 17. I was pretty dang close on that one. The final score was Niners 32, Jets 19. So it's about as close as you could have gotten for that. So for the week one prediction, 1 prediction was correct. 2 were half right or close enough because the score one. I feel like I was so close to that score that I'm giving myself half credit. And half credit, it doesn't mean anything. It's just me saying, oh, I predicted something half right in the NFL. So I half predicted the final score. I half predicted Demo picking off Aaron Rodgers. So those 2 half correct ones give me 1 point. And then I was 100% correct on Jake Moody making his kicks. So I got 2 points out of my 5 predictions, which, if I remember my schooling days correctly, would still be considered an F. But, what are you going to do? This ain't school. On to the week 2 game that they played against the Minnesota Vikings. against the Vikings, the Niners didn't play up to their standard. Brock Purdy was sacked, I believe it was freaking 6 times. And they also gave up the ball on multiple occasions. I think Brock Purdy had a fumble and then he had an interception. The Niners defense couldn't really stop Sam Darnold. Well, they had a hard time. Sam Darnold threw for 268 yards and 2 touchdowns against the 49ers defense, who he was just on our freaking team as the backup last year. You might remember, as I do, Sam Darnold being unable to beat the freaking Rams in the last game of the season last year. And as I was listening to the game, and having Sam Darnold beating us the whole time, I was thinking to myself, why couldn't he play this way against the Rams when he was on our team? Anyway, I just thought that was dumb. Not that our defense, was completely ineffective against the Vikings. They managed to intercept Sam Darnold. I believe it was Fred Warner who got the interception. And Darnold was also sacked 3 times. The Niners forced a Vikings fumble, and were able to recover it. So, our defense had a couple of turnovers, but special teams. Mitch Wishnowski got a punt blocked. It was like early in the game. So, man, there were just issues all around in this one. All 3 facets of the game. It was an ugly game, but the 49ers need to be able to pull out wins on those ugly games. Otherwise, you won't be able to fucking win the Super Bowl again this year. Anyway, granted, it's still early in the season. Obviously it's only week 2, so it's not like the sky is falling or like anything too crazy. But it's just stuff we got to clean up. Get better at, so as to not lose and fail to get the Lombardi Trophy again. Just got to do better in these ugly games. All right, so that was discussion of the Minnesota Vikings loss against the Minnesota Vikings. On to the week 3 predictions and stuff. Some injuries to go over. Kittle has been ruled out for this game. Apparently he's suffering a hamstring injury. George Kittle is out. Deebo Samuel is also out. I think he's going to be out for a couple of weeks with a calf strain. Charvarius Ward is also, I think he's also slated to be out. He didn't practice on Thursday because of a hamstring injury. Excuse me. And then Nick Bosa was limited at Thursday's practice. Apparently he's got a rib injury. So Nick Bosa was limited at practice Thursday. It's Friday morning as I'm recording this. So those are kind of not great things heading into this game. Some good news is that Talanoa Hufanga is slated to return for this game. He was a participant in practice on Thursday. Hufanga is finally coming back after last year's, I think it was an Achilles injury or ACL. I don't know. After his injury last year, Hufanga is slated to return for this game. So that's good. On to the predictions for the week 3 game against the Rams. The Lambs, the Scams, the Shams, Los Angeles Lambs. Anyway, prediction number 1. Brock Purdy is going to throw for 2 touchdowns and 300 plus yards. Um, it's Levi's South, so it's basically a home game. So I just think that Brock Purdy needs to like shake off the rust. He had a touchdown pass last game. And so I feel like he's just going to improve on his performance from the last game and get 2 touchdown passes and throw for some good yardage. With Kittle and Debo out, obviously Purdy's options of throwing to people are limited. Well, we have backups, but they're like obviously not going to be as good or like going to be able to perform in the same way as the ones do. That being said, there's still, Brandon Ayuk and Juwan Jennings, and then there's Chris Conley, Eric Saubert, Jake Tonjes. So, Brock Purdy's still going to have some targets. He'll still be able to get the ball out, make some passes. Prediction number 2 is that Brandon Ayuk is going to get his first touchdown of the season. It's about time. He made all this noise, got his bag, dropped the fucking 1 touchdown in the Jets game that hit him in the hands. So it's time for Brandon Ayuk to score. I'm feeling it this week. He's going to get the TD against the Lambs. Prediction number 3. Hufanga, returning to the field against the Los Angeles Rams, is going to get an interception this game. He's back, and he's going to make his presence felt in this game. First game back. Prediction number 4, not a very shocking one. Jordan Mason's going to score a rushing TD. Him being the primary running back right now with McCaffrey being out, that's not a surprising prediction that Jordan Mason will score a running touchdown. But I'm still predicting it, so there we go. Prediction number 5. The Niners are going to win by a score of 28-17. Initially, I've got my little notes here of my predictions. Initially, I had written Niners were going to win 34-24, but that was before the news came out that Kittle was injured. So yeah, I think that's going to affect the Niners scoring a little bit. Instead of scoring the 34 points I thought they were going to score, I now feel that they're only going to score 28. However, I believe they'll hold the Los Angeles Rams to a score of 17 points. Thus, 28 points will be sufficient to get the victory. If you made it this far into the video, thank you so much for watching. Obviously, this was a bit of a longer video than what I tend to do. Just had, to go over the prior week's games due to lack of time before. So, again, thank you for watching this video. Like and subscribe. Like the video, please, and subscribe to my channel. It would be much appreciated. Let's get the win against the Rams. It's the get-back game for the 49ers. 49ers are going to be 2-1, as of Monday. So let's go. I'm ready for that Niners victory on Monday. Well, Niners victory on Sunday. And we'll be celebrating all week, baby. Let's go.